Anna, should I start? It's 2 o'clock.
Yes, I think you can start. I can say just a few words in Russian to begin, if you don't object. Уважаемые участники, добрый вечер для многих, добрый день для тех, кто находится в центральной части России, Европы. Красноярский дом науки и техники с радостью приветствует вас на нашем мероприятии, которое мы проводим в рамках конференции EpSBS. И сегодня у нас главный ведущий и главный докладчик, доктор психологических наук Зафер Бекир. Для меня трудно произнести без тренировки имя целиком. Главный редактор журнала, в котором мы будем публиковать материалы нашей конференции. И я хочу предоставить ему слово. Зафер, you are welcome to...
Thank you. Thank you very much to everyone, and especially to Anna that she brought us together. Welcome to European Publisher Webinar. And today we are going to be trying to talk about what's new in indexing and abstracting service. And greetings from Cyprus. For the time being, I'm in Cyprus, not in London. Hopefully I will go back there on June. So today's agenda is going to be introduction for 5 minutes. I will try to give you brief information about European Publisher, then about indexing and abstracting services, and then I will try to skip that part because it's about how to prepare your paper. And for how to prepare your paper, you might already receive that we have the manual, which is clearly prepared in English and in Russian. So, and then we're going to have questions and answers for 10 minutes. So I will try to keep 30 minutes as much as I can. At the end of the webinar for questions and answers, feel free to use the chat part of the webinar, and you can always send us any email, which we don't manage to answer them right now. And at the end, I'm going to be mentioning it again, but let's keep in our mind that our email address is admissions@europeanpublisher.com, and you can visit the europeanpublisher.com. So let's start with our membership. Our memberships, related organization and partners, cross-reference, which is related with the Crossmark, Crossmark, OrcID, Clocks, JISC, Google Scholar, ISI Clarivate, Conference Proceeding Citation Index, Authenticate, and Russian Science Citation Index, e-library. And I'm going to give much more information about all of them during the following meeting. And I have to mention that we are collaborating with Russian universities such as Moscow State University, St. Petersburg Polytechnic University, IUDN University, and Chelyabinsk State University. Sorry for my pronunciation with the Russian words, but thankfully we have the Veronica to correct me always. And who we are about the company. First of all, we are a UK-based publishing house. We are publishing special interest volumes. We have open access content. We are included in the Clocks archives. Authenticate plagiarism checking software is the program that we are using. And we are the first publishing house who implemented the OrcID to the conference proceedings. And what is open access? all we know, but let me give you some brief information and just to remind you why it's too important and why we can consider that we had to provide open access service. Open access publication has benefits like license under Creative Commons allows others to access, download, and share your work with everyone freely without extra charge. Which is giving you greater chance of to get higher citations, road visibility, higher discoverability, higher chance for funding. And about the clocks that I always mention, the clocks is an archive allows research libraries and scholarly publishers who launch clocks as a pilot program to preserve and store its electronic content. Why it's important to be included, the publisher house to be included to the clocks is, let's say that something happens and the publishing house that you're working, or you publish your paper in a journal that it belongs to the publishing house, that they are not included to the clocks. That means that you're related and you're dependent to the publishing house. If something happens to their website, if something happens to their server, and your paper is not available there, that means that it's disappeared. But if the publishing house is member of the clocks, that means that your paper is stored perfectly and it will never disappear, even if something happens to the publishing house. And with the ORC-ID, as part of our commitment to ensuring ethical, transparent, and fair peer review process, European Publisher is a member of the ORC-ID. ORC-ID provides a unique and persistent digital identifier, the ORC-ID that distinguishes each other from every other researcher. It allows you to manage publication information effectively and improve your research profile. Why it's important to have the ORC-ID, why we implemented it, especially to the conference proceedings. Let's say that you have a common name. I know that, for example, Ivan Petrov can be quite common name in Russia. Let's say that you have common name, you're Ivan Petrov, and you wrote a paper and it had been published, and there is a colleague that she has the same name. ORC-ID is allowing you to register it with your name, and that means that it's going to be kind of perfectly proof, which is going to be working for every single author. And now we collect the ORC-IDs from editors as part of submission process, and we send an email to each author, which will allow them to link their ORC-ID to their articles through our system. And as you can see, we have a broad range of research areas. Our proceedings include, but are not limited to, finance and economics, social and behavioral sciences, computer and technology, education, health, physical and life sciences, psychology, and physics and engineering. What is our publishing house, European Publisher timeline history? What is the history of it? Is founded on 2006, and on 2012, EpSBS, European Journal of Social and Behavioral Sciences, first volume came out. Just to let you know, to give you information about it, it's going to be submitted to Web of Science and Scopus very, very soon. Normally, it's not free of charge, but just for this webinar, for the attendees of this webinar, we are inviting the attendees to submit their papers for the review and for the publication for the next 2 volumes, which is on August and January, for free of charge. Just to thank to Anna and her team that she brought us together. On 2014, EpSBS, European Proceedings of Social and Behavioral Sciences, first volume came out, and it had been indexed in Web of Science Conference Proceedings Citation Index with its first volume. On 2016, after 2 years, we had more than 40 volumes and 847 articles. They were indexed in Web of Science Conference Proceedings Citation Index. On 2018, 8 new conference proceedings, they came out, multidisciplinary journals in broad range of fields such as health, computer, engineering, and life sciences. And on 2020, first volume of the 3 series have been published, like European Proceedings of Health, European Proceedings of Educational Sciences, and European Proceedings of International Conference on Education and Educational Psychology. I have to mention right now that now we also have the conference proceedings special to the conferences with their own name. And now, as if we talk about the present, 571 articles indexed in Web of Science Conference Proceedings Citation Index. And in European publisher key facts, what are they? We have 15 years of inception. We have 11 journals and series. We have more than 100 volumes published. We have more than 10,000 articles that they have been published. We have more than 4,570 articles that they have been indexed by the Web of Science Conference Proceedings Citation Index. And we have more than 2,130 articles that they have been indexed in eLibrary, Russian citation. And why we believe that we are one of the best options to collaborate together during the conferences, because we have client-oriented professional approach. We respect your needs. We are always trying to be available for any questions, and we are always trying to be flexible and efficient in solving any issues. We believe that we always improve our quality, and we already have the high quality in our services. And with switch publication process, we maintain a good balance between speed and the quality. Visibility and promotion of your work is really important for us. That's why we are trying to submit them for the conference proceedings citation index, Web of Science, and working on the Google Scholar and the other databases that they should be available. And we always have the professional support and the guidance, and I'm really proud that our team, they're trying to be really responsive with any request that they're receiving anytime, especially from the editors. And of course, we have the short-term and mid-term projects. For example, the Crossmark, it's almost finished and we almost finalize the process. It's already available, but there are some minor stuff that they should be updated. Then we are working on the Google Scholar that to make your research more visible, and new databases boost your research visibility. And in the midterm, you will be having the editorial management tool, peer review process, and open access badges. And Crossmark, you already know most probably. It allows you to give the digital identification to each published paper. It's like identity card for your paper. And Crossmark is allowing the reader to find the latest version of the paper in case there is any changes. Abstracting and indexing services, which I believe that most of you are interested, especially with this part. There are many different databases that provide citation metrics based on the number of the citations in the documents. And the most important ones that we consider are Web of Science and Scopus. Also, there are many other important databases like ProQuest, which we are a member with the European Journal of Social and Behavioral Sciences, which Web of Science has just bought the ProQuest. EPSCO, Doage, and ERIC, they're the other databases. And basically, it lets you to cited reference searching to see full impact of conferences and other professional meetings. You can track the influence of the paper authors and conference series, and you can see how conferences influence on all aspects of your research. And today, now our focus is going to be especially on Web of Science Conference Proceedings Citation Index. Web of Science platform consists of Web of Science core collection and many multidisciplinary national or regional databases that are also hosted on and integrated with Web of Science platform. Sorry. I'm trying to be quick. So Web of Science core collection citation indexes are trusted, high-quality collection of journals, books, and conference proceedings. It is considered Web of Science premier index, and it covers only journals, books, and conference proceedings, and have been selected by their own house editors are indexed. In core collection, 6 citation indexes in the sciences, social sciences, arts, and humanities, and collectively contains more than billion searchable citations spanning on 250 disciplines. Web of Science is unique in that it indexes all of the metadata within each research output it contains, including every cited and citing reference, creating linkages between the index's research and wider scholarly literature. The 2 conference proceeding citation indexes include the published literature of the most significant conference, symposiums, workshops in a wide range of disciplines. They cover over 148,000 journal and book-based proceedings in science, social sciences, humanities, across 256 disciplines. Conference Proceeding Citation Index, Social and Sciences Humanities include art, economics, history, literature, philosophy, psychology, public health, social sociology, and management. And of course, the indexing has benefits. It has higher visibility and discoverability, citation tracking, institution affiliation data. It allows universities to track academic research performance, your professional activities, grants, publications, peer review, etc. Higher citation will help you to get grant or promotion, of course. Funding data includes funding acknowledgement data. Also, funders and institutions can easily track and identify you and your research ORCID integration, PubLoans and ORCID integration. And once a new volume is published online, we always submit them to Web of Science Conference Proceeding Citation Index within latest 2 days for evaluation and possible coverage of the Conference Proceeding Citation Index, Social Sciences and Humanities. This selection process may take several months. Series are not index Web of Science according to their selection process, only proceedings will be accepted for submission. This means publisher needs to submit each proceedings volume after they have published online. And it is the discretion of the clarified as to how quickly they process and upload new content. Unfortunately, there is no way to have control over how long it takes for each volume to be evaluated or indexed. It can take some time for papers to get evaluated, and if they are selected, to appear in the system. And there are many cases that it may take more than 2 years. On the basis of the proceedings, Web of Science doesn't index journal series itself. Each conference proceedings must be submitted to the Web of Science separately for evaluation and possible coverage. Selection process may take 2 months or several months according to Web of Science editors' workload and their needs in this period. As a standard procedure for indexation, Web of Science editors were examining each proceedings volume to ensure that basic standards are in place. As a European publisher, we ensure all these basic publishing standards are met with the Web of Science selection criteria. But regarding their needs in that period of time, unfortunately, we don't have control over how long it takes for each volume to be evaluated or indexed. A few years ago, maybe you realized that we were able to get faster evaluation for indexation for our proceedings, regardless of the topic. But more recently, Web of Science tended to focus on fast-moving topics, such as technology, physical sciences, biomedical sciences. Only after they have completed evaluation of these topics, they proceed with the social sciences, educational sciences, and humanities. As a standard procedure of indexation, Web of Science editors are examining each proceedings volume to ensure that basic standards are in place, including page numbering sequential, timelines, international editorial conventions, such as fully descriptive article titles and full cited references, authors, abstract, and keywords, and etc. Therefore, it may take longer than you are expected, but please note that none of our submission up to now had been rejected until now. And of course, the conference organizers, they have the responsibilities to make their conferences more important, like and for the indexation, they have to focus what can you do to make your event more important and visible. If you want your event to be one step ahead from other similar events, visibility and quality is the key. Serialized conferences sponsored by prestigious scholarly societies can make difference and can bring you a step ahead from the other conferences. Conference website is really important as well. Having an international editorial board, peer review policy, and code of conduct, ethical statements are really important. Conference proceeding citation indexing between 2018 and 2020. They covered papers on 2018, 44,279. Papers on 2019, they covered 34,140. And on 2020, 8,008 papers they had been covered. And in 2020, only 8,000 8 papers, publications, indexed in both book series and journal articles. As chart shows, social sciences indexing is getting more limited every year. By the way, this data is received from Web of Science Clarivate Analytics. And as this chart demonstrates and allows you to realize that the mostly covered researches are related to education and economics. But once we focus, we see that the papers from social sciences areas are published as journal articles, not conference proceedings, not book series. Almost 80% of the covered research in education area is related to technology education. If we check the book series covered by Web of Science collection in the past, we will see their topics are related mostly book series, which are with the areas related to computer sciences, renewable energy and sustainability, technologies, applied physics, intelligent transportation, and infrastructure systems, and science, technology, and innovation, and then law. This led us to conclusion that get index your paper content as a book series is very challenging and is getting more challenging than the previous years. Index content decreased 23% from 2018 to 2019. Index content decreased 76% from 2019 to 2020. If we expect only 6-10% decrease for 2021, then it means 7,200, 7,500 research will be covered by Web of Science in 2021. From thousands of submissions for new year, and thousands are expecting to get indexed from the previous years. Maintain quality, reducing a number of publication and focusing on peer-reviewed journals. Why Web of Science is doing that? Most probably because of the journal indexing area is dynamic. Once a proceeding covered by Web of Science, it means it is timeless and covered forever until they change their policy. Once on the other hand, journal indexing policy is different than the conference proceedings policy indexing. Once a journal indexing Web of Science core collection, it means all papers will be indexed automatically as soon as a new volume is published. If the journal quality or indexing count decrease by the time, then it can be moved to the less important indexes like ESCI, or even can be removed from their indexing, which means published papers will not be indexed anymore by the Web of Science. Therefore, Web of Science have full control of the content quality and impact of the journal, but not for the series. So let me share with you briefly what is our strategy on this point. Creating a peer-reviewed journal based on the requirements of the conference organizers, which they will be in charge in their own journal. Editorial decision will be made independent from publisher, and selected papers will be published high quality, peer-reviewed, or your own journal in our European publisher, and we will be hosting it. We know that website functionality is one of the most important criteria for selecting and covering the contents. But building up all what we offer is a huge investment, of course. So we provide typesetting, copy editing, ORC ID, cloaks, authenticate, crossmark, DOI implementation, and funders registry, which is going to be soon. So hopefully it's going to be giving much more options to the authors through the organizers. And of course, once the job is done, it's going to be promoted to indexing databases. And for this part, as I mentioned on the beginning, we have the manual that is already available in Russian language and in English language. So you can request it from Anna, I believe that she has, and you can request it, of course, from our team as well. We will be more than glad to contact you anytime and to hear from you. And yeah, this is the guidelines that I'm talking about, European Proceedings, Manuscript Submission Manual. So I tried to keep it, okay, as short as I could, and I think 30 minutes, which needed to cover the questions and answers as well. Sorry, Anna, I'm 10 minutes late to complete the presentation. Okay, now I'm the only hoster, so I needed to unmute Anna. Sorry.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, I think, well, it would be, of course, very interesting for all participants to hear and to see how to, well, make papers, because there are always lots of questions, and most of the questions usually concern how to make the literature references, because they differ quite a lot from Russian system. And when we write different journals, the well, standards are different. That's why there are lots of questions usually. There are many questions all the time about the originality, because Russian systems of checking originality are different. That's why we have usually lots of questions and, well, different discussions about it.
That's why
maybe we can allow our participants to turn on their microphones, and maybe we will have questions.
Yeah, and of course they can always use the chat as well. How can I allow the participants to?
So can you do it? No, because I can't now, because you are the organizer. There is, well, you can do it, I think, where demonstration, and on the left there is, well, security, and here you can allow participants to ask questions.
First, I need to reorganize here. Okay. So first of all, I'm stopping to share. If everybody.
So everyone can now. Уважаемые участники, сейчас все могут включать у себя звук, и все могут включать у себя видео, поэтому мы приглашаем. Спасибо, Зафер, за такую презентацию и такую возможность все-таки задать вопросы не организаторам конференции, которым не всегда есть, может быть, столько доверия, да, сколько есть именно к журналу, в котором будут публиковаться статьи. Поэтому мы приглашаем сейчас всех участников, несмотря на то, что презентация была на английском языке, и, может быть, не все могли все понять, хотя сама презентация, весь текст, спасибо, был на русском языке, это помогло понимать нам. Задавать свои вопросы можете на русском, мы с Вероникой поможем перевести и вопросы, и ответы. Я приглашаю всех просто воспользоваться такой возможностью и поговорить напрямую с создателем, задать все интересующие вас вопросы. So I said that everyone can now turn on the microphone and camera and ask any questions, because it is a unique, well, possibility to ask you looking into your eyes just to ask any questions about publication and about the journal and about indexing, which is quite interesting and important for us.
And thank you for that. That will be my pleasure to answer any questions. But I didn't manage to change the settings. So do you mind guiding me to unmute the participants? Or
I believe that participants can raise their hands. There is such an option where we can say reactions or реакции. Здесь есть возможность поднять руку. И тогда
Да,
будет...
и можно всем сейчас включить микрофоны.
Oh, yeah. Now it's fine from well, thanks. Yeah, I have a question.
Is Gleb talking?
Yeah, it's me. Thank you. About first page, the title list. From time to time, when authors not 4, maybe 5, maybe 6, it's not so easy to do it in the one page. What shall we do in this moment?
Sorry. Can you ask the question again? I didn't get it.
Yeah, of course. When a title list starts not from one page, but 2 pages, is it good or should we find another way?
When you say the title page,
The first list, affiliation, authors, abstract, and keywords.
okay,
As usual, it's 1 page,
okay.
but from time to time, it became 2 pages.
I
Is it,
see.
yeah, is it allowed?
That should be fine to submit it like as it is. And if there is a major stuff that it should be corrected, 100% our team is going to be guiding you on that. And if needed, they will be revising that part for you, and they will be asking your confirmation if it is still acceptable. So you don't need to get stressed with that kind of detail. That's absolutely fine.
То есть, уважаемые участники, я вкратце буду помогать тогда, может быть, мы оживем тогда, как-то поживее начнем задавать вопросы. Вопрос был от одного из участников. Если все не входит, если первая страница не умещается на одной странице, что делать? Да? Ответ: оставляйте как есть. Если что, издательство либо поправит само и запросит у вас согласие на эту поправку, либо попросит вас исправить это. Поэтому не бойтесь такого отступления, так скажем, от правил.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gleb. Thank you.
Еще вопросы какие-то, может быть, комментарии? Вот нам, как организаторам, поступает всегда очень много вопросов. Я не знаю, почему сейчас участники молчат и про индексацию, может быть, и про другие вещи. Да, вот мы видим, Сергей подключился, Юсов к нам, может быть, вот будут вопросы какие-то.
May I just mention in Russian, just mention again that we provide free of charge publication in EpSBS in the next 2 volumes. Уважаемые участники, если вы не против, я сейчас еще раз подчеркну, что для участников данного вебинара мы предоставляем возможность бесплатной публикации в следующих 2 сборниках, которые будут опубликованы в августе 2021 года и в январе 2022 года. Журнал периодический и проходит сейчас процесс включения в Scopus и Web of Science в список основных журналов. Web of Science Masters Journals.
Вероника, может быть, чуть-чуть несколько слов об этом журнале, потому что как бы не все, наверное, сейчас вот понимают, о чем идет речь. Одно дело это опубликоваться сейчас в материалах конференции, да, о которой идет речь, а другое дело, что вы предлагаете возможность опубликоваться бесплатно в вашем журнале. Может быть, несколько слов об этом журнале буквально, да, и куда подавать материалы, если таковые есть.
Dr. Zafar, may we please say a few words about EpSBS? Can you please provide us an information about it?
Provide an information about EpSBS.
EpSBS, what we can say, what more we can say about the journal?
The journal is, we have it since 2012, and you know, there are many requirements by the Web of Science and Scopus before being able to submit the journal in confidence. And we believe that we got to the position now that we are much more secure on the submission. It's quite old journal, and we always keep the really high quality there, just for the purpose of the one of the purpose for it, because we want to prove that it has the one of the best quality, and it will be indexed with, hopefully, with the Web of Science and Scopus, just to offer our favor to Anna and her team. We decided to give the priority for this webinar attendees to submit their papers for the evaluation and for the publication for free of charge. And once we have the papers from you, if we get to the position that, okay, we got to the limit, we will be just closing it. So feel free to submit through admissions@europeanpublisher.com.
То есть, уважаемые участники, вас приглашают как участников семинара и как участников данной конференции подать бесплатно статьи на рассмотрение в журнал EGPS.
EPSBS, European Journal of Social and Behavioral Sciences. Журнал, посвященный социальным и поведенческим наукам.
И это журнал, да, это периодическое издание, это журнал. Естественно, что требования к статьям нужно посмотреть на сайте, либо можно сделать запрос нам, мы можем прислать вам. Статья в журнал, она должна быть все-таки по объему более, да, как бы такая весомая, но и по содержанию она должна, ну, несколько быть весомее, чем материалы конференции, но тем не менее. И журнал, как надеется Зафер, в ближайшее время должен войти в базу цитирования Scopus и Web of Science, по крайней мере, он подается. Поэтому вот зарубежный журнал приглашает вас издатель подать туда свои статьи.
I have just shared the link of the journal from the chat. Here.
Да, вот сейчас в чате есть ссылка на журнал, куда можно подать статью. Уважаемые участники, есть ли у кого-то вопросы, либо обсуждения, может быть, по презентации или по вообще каким-то своим вопросам публикации, публикования?
If you consider to submit, please make sure that you send your paper with the copyright form. By the way, in 15 days, most probably we will be starting to use a clarified submission system. Just make sure that you prepare your paper and you submit it through the clarified submission system that we're going to be sharing with you the link of it.
Уважаемые участники, если вы желаете подать статью, в данный момент мы принимаем статьи через почту, то есть вы можете писать на данные, указанные выше в чате адреса, в том числе и на русском языке, потому что я смогу обработать вашу информацию, заявки на русском языке и ответить. И пока мы принимаем статьи и подписанные авторские соглашения через почту, и в ближайшие месяцы мы ожидаем о том, что система Clarified предоставит нам доступ к автоматической подаче статей через их систему.
So if participants have no questions, I've got a question about indexing, which is very important, I think, for everyone. And the question is, what are the main factors when we somehow evaluate if the proceedings will be indexed quickly or not? So how do you evaluate it?
First of all, what we have to mention, Anna, that while we are accepting the conference proceedings to get published through our platform, through our publishing house, we evaluate by using most of the criteria of the Web of Science with the website, editorial board, this kind of stuff. That's all I mentioned. And after that, the what is affecting the evaluation process, I have to make it clear that when we're submitting papers, we are so secure with the quality of the papers, because you already work with us and you know how obsessive we can be with the process. We are checking every single detail one by one. We have great, amazing editorial reviewer team. And then the main thing that is going to be affecting, which is not under our control, is what are the needs of the Web of Science for that period. As I mentioned, there are sometimes that their needs are about technology, like nowadays, or artificial intelligence and this kind of stuff. So once they gather what they need, after that, they evaluate the others. And as I mentioned, it's really important to, from my perspective, it's really important to have your own journal, which we offer one of the services, as I mentioned, which is going to be making everything easier and much more manageable from your side.
Yes, we're thinking about it already. Yeah, so from our experience, for example, we publish the proceedings of the conference in other journals also, and for more than 5 years already. And we have some experience in technical sciences. For example, we have some conferences which have been indexed in Web of Science. So the conferences are indexed in Scopus and Web of Science. So they are all indexed in Scopus, and you know that it is a quick process. But here we have a risk that this or that journal or proceedings will be eliminated from Scopus. Like, for example, now we have a situation. So we started the conference, and while EOP conference conference series, Material Science and Engineering, were included into Scopus. But then at the end, in the middle of May, I think they excluded it from Scopus, and that's all. That's the decision. No other way out. Yeah, but speaking about Web of Science, yeah, we have experienced that many conferences in technical sciences, they are indexed quicker than humanities. But nevertheless, there are some conferences which were held in 2019 and they were indexed, but there are some conferences which were held in 2018 and they were not indexed. So what is the choice? Why they choose this conference and they do not index that conference? So no answer.
There is good news for you for your upcoming modules. I don't know if Menis is here, but the other team members are here. They already know the process that we are working by. As Gin Yorko, I can see. Okay, Menis is here as well. Can I unmute her? Can we unmute Menis?
No, everyone now can turn on the microphone. It's free for them. Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to unmute Menis if she has something else to add what I will be saying now. From now on, for your upcoming volumes, we're going to be publishing whatever we will be publishing. They will be submitted to Scopus as well. Welcome, Menis.
Really?
We will be submitting them to Scopus as well. So good news. Is really bad on me that I didn't mention it earlier. We already got our ISBN numbers that it will be allowing us to submit them to Scopus once we publish them.
Okay.
Because, that means that 2 evaluation process is going to be from now on that we publish the new volumes. And your upcoming volume is this conference, am I right? Okay. So, may I say, Minister, definitely we will be submitting it to Scopus evaluation as well on our current conference.
Yeah, we can submit it to Scopus as a book. And I wanted to add some more important information about what exactly separates some conferences than others. I think it is, maybe I can share you a link after this meeting, this webinar, and it's clearly declared in Clarified Web of Sciences website. They are, in the first place, they tended to choose technical conferences because they need, for the time being, these topics, engineering, artificial intelligence, computer, and etc. And the humanities, I regularly check Web of Science database and other publishers as well. So I can see that most conference proceedings are not indexed if their topic related with humanities and social sciences. And I can say two important information, what can you do as an organizer to, I don't know.
Speed up?
Yeah.
To speed up the process.
You can important sponsors, credible and prestigious sponsors, like I don't know, Russian something academic institution, or some kind of Russian psychological institution, or this kind of institutions, or maybe international sponsors like APA and I don't know, British Psychological Society, and this kind of sponsors. If you find a way to collaborate with this kind of sponsors, you will get higher chance to get indexed. And
is it more trustable and more valuable with the process?
Where do we write about the sponsors? In the preface, or where do we have to include this information about sponsors?
Yeah, definitely. You need to add this information in your proposal form and also the preface document, because we are submitting your volumes proceedings with this information. And Web of Science, most probably, they don't declare specifically, but we know that they choose these volumes in the first place.
There is a possibility.
Okay.
I think we have a special private meeting with
Yes, yeah. So moreover, you understand that why many people choose why many people in Russia want Scopus. First of all, of course, it is because very quickly the paper is indexed. Nevertheless, Web of Science is more valuable. In every institute or university, Web of Science is more valuable. But Web of Science is quite closed, if I can say so. If we want some information from Scopus about the paper and about the journal, for example, Scopus is open. So you can go to Scopus website and find all information, even without registering. You can find information in CG, in SJR, yeah, about the present situation with the journal, and you can find your paper in your profile, even free of charge profile. Yeah, so it is easy for authors, and we teach them how to do it. But when we speak about Web of Science,
you need the
you should have access, yes, to the database. Not all universities, not even all universities in Russia have this database, access to database. So authors can't check. Authors don't know how to check. Moreover, we give advice to our authors that if they have access, they can write a letter to Web of Science, yeah, about why there is a chance to write if my article is indexed, and they answer. But you can do it if you have access to Web of Science.
That's why, for example, we have an access to clarify Web of Science, and that's why we always keep the editors and the authors as soon as we realize that new volume is indexed, or sometimes we keep the indexing updates to the editors and to the authors. So we also know what is happening and how it works, so we try to support as much as we can.
Yeah, but I can say that your journal is quite popular, very popular, because many Russian instructors and scientists in universities want to publish in the spheres of psychology, philosophy, languages, teaching, and there is not so many possibilities of doing it, because not so many journals, not so many proceedings offer this possibility. Of course, to some of the authors, the format of your journal is quite challenging, because yes, because you have a structure, yeah, very definite structure, and they sometimes do not understand what is the difference between, I don't know, research methods and findings. And moreover, the way how you put references, links, is also not very easy. Because, for example, when in other journals, we have to put 1, 2, 3, and then we enumerate the references. It is easier to check if this author was mentioned or not, because every time we get, well,
we are using based on
yes,
this,
yeah.
and I have to give the responsibility to especially to Melis and her team, Yoko, Bayre, Eskin, that they're extremely strict with it.
Yes, it is good.
Which and that's what, you know, that's one of the reasons that we believe that we are really successful.
Yes, yes, we are thinking about some seminars. Before we start a conference, we're thinking already about some seminars, webinars on how to, well, format and how to write an article to your journal. That's why you missed this part, but it is interesting part, I think. Maybe there should be such seminars, such webinar, because it is usually a problem for many people how to make a good article about good research. Different.
That would be our pleasure, Anna, to collaborate with you on that. And we already prepared in the past, and we can collaborate with you on that as well. We can have a kind of workshop webinar that is going to be focusing on how to prepare the paper, especially with the references, what we mean with the methods, what we mean with the references, how it should be, how it should be organize everything, and what are the criteria that we use, and this kind of stuff. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. We can do that.
Yeah, because sometimes I think our researches are quite sometimes different from what you have. For example, many authors in Russia give links to some speeches of president or, I don't know, prime minister, and they sometimes do not know how to refer to them in the links or not to refer. For us, it is also sometimes a problem, so we can sometimes explain, and we can prepare some questions about, well, urgent problems which they have usually. It would be a great idea, I think, for next conference.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. And speaking, you spoke about Scopus. It means, so you're going to send just separate proceedings to Scopus, yes? Not like the journal is indexed.
It's a different procedure for the conference proceedings, and we will be submitting each volume that they're going to be published from now on. And some previous ones that they had been publisher, European publisher had been the publisher of them. We are already in the process and we are preparing it. Because we need we needed a lot of stuff to be complete. That's why we didn't mention it in the past, but that we are almost ready. I wanted to share with you.
Yeah, and what are the requirements for the journal? If you speak, we can send some papers to the journal. Are the requirements different for the journal and the proceedings?
Yeah, we have different sections that it had been explained in the website that I already shared with you here.
But in short, just in short.
Sorry, then again.
Just in short, what are the requirements?
The requirements, the simplest ones. They haven't been published earlier somewhere. They have been. They should have really good quality with the preparations, with the sample, with the research methods, and etc. And of course, they need to be related with the social and behavioral sciences.
And what is the length? The length, how many pages minimum?
Minutes,
how many pages minimum?
For the EGSBS?
Yes.
I think it should be 6 pages, but
I think minimum is 5,000 words and maximum 7,000, something like that.
Okay. Okay. I see. Okay. Уважаемые участники, не созрели вопросы, я так думаю. Well, I think one of the problems when you make a presentation for the Russian people is that not so many people know English.
That's why lovely Veronica, and that's why we have you.
Yes, that's why many people just would like to, they looked at the presentation, and so now maybe not so many questions. But
that's fine. That's absolutely fine, Anna. If they ask their questions directly to you, and if you want us to answer them, that's absolutely fine. We are always here for anything that we can collaborate.
Yes. The colleagues, I believe we have an author, Gleb, wants to ask a question, probably.
Oh yeah, thanks. Now we have talked about structure, and I have a question about it. This is the second e-cast what we have in Krasnoyarsk. But we have a wonderful guide about how to prepare the article. But the rules is a little bit different from the last years. Is it possible to have the hard structure with hard rules, like EOP conference maybe? Because very often I see on a table, on figure, on numbers, or in list of reference, little bit difference. They authors do the same like in the last year. They have a standard from the last year, and they did not read instruction for this year, for new conference. Will it be a change year by year, or will we have the structure for all conference?
We are following the APA standards, so because the APA, they changed the structure that they accept. we needed to follow it, because when we are submitting for the indexing, the Web of Science corpus, they're important parts that it's for the evaluation process. So that's why it's a good point what you mentioned. Thank you. That's why we have the updates in the manual that you have just recognized.
So it was a surprise for me that you have a guide in Russian also, because we made Russian guide ourselves, but we can use yours, which is more original. Maybe we will do it. Thank you very much.
Yes, a new manual is updated on the website, or you can always ask us via email, and we will send you the manual both in English and in Russian.
Thank you. Yeah, but we will find it on your website.
Thank you, especially to Melissa and Veronica on working really hard on it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Уважаемые участники, ну, может быть, тогда, если нет вопросов, тогда, наверное, мы будем отпускать уже наших уважаемых гостей. So if there are no questions, we would like to say thank you very much again. And we are looking forward to collaborating with you. And we thank you for your hard work, helping us to make our researches worldwide known. And because it is, we understand, as organizers of the conference, we understand that it is a hard work. And on behalf of our office, I would like to thank you for your job, because you're always open. Not so many journals are so open as you are, and you can be asked questions and you answer questions. That is very important for us, and we wish you all the best in your work, and we hope for cooperation in future.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, could you please answer some questions about the presentation? So if I, for example, go in person to St. Petersburg at 21st of May, and I'm gonna have some presentation for that, for my performance, could you please tell me, there are any strong restrictions or limitations for the presentation, or I can just build up my speech as I want during that 10 minutes?
So it is a question about the session which will be held in St. Petersburg on Friday, not about the journal, but about the conference, as I understood. Veronica, yes, I understand your question. I think the usual report at the conference is about 5 to 7 minutes, and 7 more minutes for question and answer section. So I think in St. Petersburg, it will be the same. So don't worry, everything will be fine.
Okay, thank you.
So, you know, our conferences are quite not very usual, maybe because we have sessions in different cities to give opportunity to participants to participate not only in Krasnoyarsk. It is quite difficult for many people to come to Krasnoyarsk, but also in our partner university in St. Petersburg. So we have, well, quite sometimes we have questions.
Great job, and it's really great pleasure to collaborate with you. And thank you for your good, nice words about our publishing house and about our team. Thank you very much, Anna, and thank you very much for organizing this and bringing us all together. And just to remind that not only for the social and behavioral sciences, but for the other topics like engineering and technology and etc. Now we offer great service as well.
Okay. So, okay, thank you. We will ask questions about it because we have a demand in medical sciences. Quite often we started once and we tried with Atlantis Press, but the experience was not very good, so we stopped it. But there are some people who would like to publish in this sphere, and not all journals except medicine.
We
Some
have
journals rejected.
and that would be great pleasure to collaborate with you for that through this journal.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everyone. That
Thank
was
you, Melis.
a great pleasure to meet you. Hope to talk to you very soon again.
Okay, okay. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you for the collaboration. It was our pleasure to collaborate with you.
Thank you. Yeah. Ну что, уважаемые участники, тогда еще раз говорим спасибо всем. Если нет больше вопросов ни к журналу, ни к Заферу, ни к другим, ни к Заферу, ни к другим представителям журнала, ни к нам как к организаторам, тогда мы будем завершать. Спасибо всем. И мы выключаемся для того, чтобы работать дальше. До свидания.
Спасибо еще раз большое.
Спасибо. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.